Welcome to ScratchStart. I'm sorry for taking a break for a week because my laptop died and I also had some health issues, so I had to take some break. Today we are going to do the vertical timeline thing. I already done the HTML CSS section for this project, for this task, because I did the HTML because it's going to repeat. Anyway I'll be repeating the same things like division and other things, same tags, so I removed everything. So in this we're gonna do only the styling sections. So let's start with the styling sections. In vertical timelines, what we can expect is we will each headings will be given as a separate produced as separate cards, left right in alternating style. So we'll do that first. Let's start with the timeline. I already done the styles for container, whole container and the header sections. So let's start with the timeline. That's what the main thing is. So let's start the timeline first. Let's start the timeline. For a crash timeline, give it a position of relative, also give it a padding of 40 pixel and 0. Now as I already said, each cards will be formed as left. First card will be on left and the second card will be on right. It will be like steps, but in between each cards there will be a straight vertical line that shows the timeline, like vertical hierarchy. So let's create that vertical line first. Now there's the same timeline tag. When it's before, give it a content as blank content, and then give a position as absolute with a top value of 0, bottom value of 0, left as 50%, give each width as 4 pixels, give it a background as with a linear gradient, degrees. As I already declared the CSS variants here, I will directly give the colors here. With a variant primary, then the primary will be 0%. The variants secondary will be 50%, and then another color primary, that will be 100%. Next we'll give it a transform, translate in x direction, like horizontally. That's why when we can align it in left and right. So translate x minus 50%, give it a border radius of I already declared that, so radius full, and give it also animation of pulse animation. Let's give a pulse animation, 3 seconds, is in and out. for an infinite loop. Let's see what happens. See, a horizontal line is formed. In this horizontal line, this will be first call, here will be second call, here will be third, fourth, and then it goes on. So we need to, we added the animation, so we need to give the keyframes for that. Give the keyframes for pulse as from 0% to 50%. The opacity will be 0.8, and from 50%, the opacity will be 1, and the box shadow will be 15 pixels. The border color will be primary blue color. Let's see how it goes. Right, the pulse is radiating now. That's what we did now. So next, as we created the timeline section, next we'll create the timeline items. These are the timeline items. So let's create that next. For timeline items, for a class of timeline item, give it a position of relative with width of 100%. The margin bottom of use some 80 pixels. And for the we'll need to do the for last timeline item for last child. Give it a margin bottom of 0, because after that no element will be there, no items will be there. That's why I am giving margin bottom of 0. See, it is separated now. Next, for each items, there will be a dot for indicating each items. For the first item, and the dot will be present on this vertical line. So for the timeline dot, give it a position as absolute, because it won't be moving anywhere. And left the 50%. The transformation of translate y, because it will be in the transform x to minus 50%, and then give it the width of 24 pixel and the height of again 24 pixel. So the even circle will be formed. And then give a background of white, because white goes easily with the blue, and then with a border of 4 pixel solid with the color of primary. give a border radius as 50%. Then give it a z index of 3 because it will be protruding above the line. So 3. So give a box shadow of 4 pixels. The color was 59, 130, 46, 0. I am giving this color because I have already practiced in the previous problems this. So I am giving the color easily. You don't need to memorize all these color codes. You can easily use some online tools and other tools to declare these colors. And then give a transition 0.3 seconds. Let's see. See, the dot is formed. Now we need the dots to hover when it is focused. So timeline item should also be hover and timeline dot. For both the background will be of primary color. Transform it to translate x with minus 50%. Now scale it as 1.3. Then give a box shadow of 6 pixels with the color coding as so. Now let's see how it transforms. See, when I go to that dot, it is transforming. I haven't did the cards yet. When I do this, the card will also, the corresponding card will be here. I haven't yet styled the card yet, so we are not seeing the card transformation. So let's style the cards now. For content cards, content, fill up position as relative with each card with as 45%. Here as padding of 30 pixels. Give a background white. Give border radius and give a box shadow. Give it a transition of 0.3. Then give a border with 1 pixel solid and color is gray 200 because we need a slightly black border. Now let's see. It's different. Now the timeline card should cover. For timeline item, hover effect, and the timeline content, transform, translate translate y to minus 5 pixels, then give it a box shadow 0, 30 pixel, 40 pixel, minus 15 pixel, so let's see. Another space is formed, hover effect is formed now. When I hover, the dot is also color changing, the pitch color. So next, left, as I said before, each cards will be styled as one card in right and another card in left. So left, right in this pattern. So let's focus on that now. For left side cards now, and left side timeline item dot left and the timeline contents. Now margin right does will give auto. Let the code declare for proportional, and then give the left as 0. Because it is in left, we don't need extra margins to give us space. Let's see now. See, we don't see any change because the left is already in left, so we don't see any change. When we style the right, the right side, the second, the fourth, and the even number cards will be on right now. So let's start with the right side cards. On right side, we will say timeline item we hover. Timeline item right and timeline content. Here we will need the margin left. So margin left, and then give it a right margin as 0. Let's see how it transforms. See, as I said earlier, that's how it will be transformed. So we finally achieved what I claimed, what I said would happen. One left, right, left and right. So next we need additional styling too. I will add the connector arrows now. I also mentioned this code here. Item 2. I will show what the connection arrow is. I don't know how to explain that in words. So connector arrows, give it a timeline item left, a timeline content before, the content blank quotes, then give it a position of absolute because the contents won't be moving anywhere. The top will be 30 pixels, the right will be minus 15 pixels, then give it a width of 0 and the height also 0, and give it a border top as 15 pixels, solid, transparent, then give it a border bottom So 15 pixels solid, and it is also transparent. Give a border left, it is also 15 pixel solid, but it will be white. Then give it a filter. Filter is drop shadow. Give it 2 pixels, 0, 2 pixels. The color coding is and 0.05. What's your see this arrows we did for the left items, so now let's do for the right items. Do the same thing. Timeline item right and timeline content before. See the same code, the arrow is formed on the opposite side, so we need to just change slightly. We used the right now here, we just need to change it at left, change it as the left, that's all. And next the arrow should be facing the other direction, we also need to change that one. So for drop we gave here the positive, change it as negative. Pixel, 15 pixels, absolute. I think I made an error here. Wait, I'll do that again. I feel I made an error. The content as blank. Give it a position as absolute. Give it a top value of 30 pixels. Give it a left value minus 15 pixels. Width 0 and height 0. With the border top is 15 pixel. Solid transparent. Border bottom as 15 pixel solid. Now I for bottom previous arrow I did border left, now I have to do border right here, that's why I missed it. That's what I missed here. Border right, alright, 15 pixel solid white. Just change it. So the arrow is fixed now. So here we have dates here like years, so let's work on that now. Next timeline date. Timeline date display as inline block. Give it a padding 6 pixels and 16 pixels. Give it a background of linear gradient 35 degree primary. And secondary. But our color is white and border radius is some 30 pixels. Then give a font weight of 600 and give the font size 0.90. Give a margin bottom 15 pixels. These are some standard font stylings. These are nothing special about this. These are what I did is a standard font styling. So there is nothing really to explain here. So I will just go fast here. Font size is 0.8. Font weight 100. Gray, heaviest, darkest color. Give it a margin bottom of 15 pixels. Content with the paragraphs. Give it a line height. With a margin bottom. Let's see. I think it is equally spaced and nicely spaced. Then the statistics. These are the statistics. Let's style that. The stats. Timeline stats. Give it a display of flex with the gap of 20 pixels. And the flex wrap with wrapping style will be hold wrap. Then give a padding top plus 15 pixels and the border top as 2 pixels solid at variable 100. See, and then I have used the span for these two in the HTML tags. So I will use the span tag here. Give it a display of flex. Align items to center as usual. Give it a gap of 6 pixels. And the text color as 600. Then give the font size and the font wait. And in timeline stats, there are some icons too. Let's focus on that too. Well, give it a color of standard primary color. So this one. Next, when we scroll, the years just pass away. Right now, what we need is the 2000. When I scroll, the 2018 should stick up until I reach the year 2019. Cut. So we style for that now. Now for sticky ears, it is very easy. It's not something too hard. If you saw my sticky parallax video, you will understand how this happens easy in detail. Now I will do it in a simple way. In timeline item and timeline date, position should be sticky because it should stick to the top. Sticky, give it a top value of 20 pixels and a Z index value of 10. See, when I scroll, the 20 to the year just sticks there. Next is we need to style it for different displays, like different screen sizes. It is called responsive design. It is really more important in any HTML, any web kind of web design or projects. The next we'll do the responsiveness. For screen sizes, 768 pixels. Here timeline before. Timeline dot as left 30 pixel. And transform it as translate x minus 50%. For timeline item left and timeline content before. For timeline content right and timeline content before. Display would be no kind of display. Then for timeline item left and timeline content, let's give a left as auto and also the right as auto. Then for timeline content right and timeline content, do the same left auto and right auto. and then for another display, the display size 480 pixels. Once it's to run, timeline content padding 25 pixels, timeline content headings h2, give it a font size of 1.5 rem, and give it timeline stats. Next direction as column, for each flex give it a gap of 10 pixels, so it is become responsible for this kind of display. What here happened is 768 pixel display size. This is what happens with that kind of display. When I expand it, the proper version, this is the proper version, final version. So this is the vertical timeline. So also this is my first video with adding my vocal, like I'm speaking. If there is any reviews or how to improve my speaking or how to explain in detail or anything, please leave comments and give your opinions. And if you like my works, please subscribe. I will be posting regularly from now on. And thank you for watching. Subscribe for more if you like my content. Thank you.